So, good day everyone. Today, we will talk about leveraging on outcomes-based design. So, diri, kabalaan nato kung saan paggamit sa traditional o authentic assessment. So, first is, let's read the lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to first examine essential ideas of outcomes-based assessment. Second, differentiate traditional from authentic assessment and evaluate the efficiency of both assessments in the light of outcomes-based design. Next is, atong sabton ang quotation ni Lewis Carroll. Ingon niya, if you don't know where you are going, it doesn't matter which road you take. So diri nagamin siya kung wala tay klaro nga goal, lisod nato mabalaan unsang saktong direction. So same gyapon na siya sa teaching. Kinahanglan na mabalaan nato daan kung unsang atong itudlo sa learners before daw maghimo og activities. So for example, kung ang goal kay ma-improve ang balance sa learners, then ang games of exercises dapat connected na skills kung mag-teach ta sa PE. So dili pwede nga random lang ang activity, dapat na jud siya clear outcome. The next one is outcomes-based education or OBE. So, ang OBE kay learner-centered na siya, meaning ang focus ani kay unsa ang kaya buhaton si learners human sa learning. So, dili lang kabalo sila sa concept na ginatudlo ni teacher, pero dapat kaya nila i-apply sa actual performance. So, for example, after teaching proper stretching sa PE, kung magtudlo ang teacher, ang pupils dapat kabalo ma-demonstrate og sakto nga stretching exercises. So, sa K-12 curriculum natay standards na nag-guide sa teachers kung unsa ang dapat mahibal-an o dapat na buhat sa learners. Next one is essential characteristics of OBE. So, the first one is clarity of focus. Meaning, dapat klaro jud ang target skill or outcome. So, sa pag-teach sa PE, tanan activities o drills dapat nakafocus sa final goal. So, for example, kung ang target kay proper throwing skills, then ang activities dapat connected sa throwing practice. Next is expanded opportunities, meaning hatagan og many chances ang learners para maka-practice o maka-improve. So, kay dili man tanan bata parehas og pacing sa learning, dapat si teacher maghatag siya og daghan chances. So, for example, kung dili pa kabalo ang pupil sa dance step na ginatudlo ni teacher during first try, pwede siya tagaan og another practice o guidance sa teacher. The next one is high expectation. So, ang OBE nagabilib siya nga tanan pupils may capable na maka-learn basta na proper support o practice. So, for example, ang pupil na mahadlok mo join sa game before mahimong confident later. So, pinaagi sa encouragement o practice ni teacher, kanang mo join na siya sa game na wala na kahadlok. And the fourth one is design down. So, dari, kinahanglan, begin with the end in mind. Meaning, una, dapat hunahunahon sa teacher ang final outcome before magplano sa lesson. So, for example, kung ang target kay pupils can perform basic exercise routine correctly, then dapat tanan activities ug assessment dapat connected ana. So, next, let's proceed sa outcomes-based design. So, diri, sa outcome-based design, importante kayo ang assessment. So, naani siya tatlo. First is, i-identify sa teacher ang desired outcome. So, ang second is, dapat mag-prepare ang teacher o assessment nga ang magpakita nga naka-learn ang pupils. Dari nila ma-measure kung may na-learn ba ang pupils. The third one is maghimo ang teacher of instructional activities. So for example, kung ang outcome kay pupils can perform a simple dance routine. Ang teacher pwede mag-prepare og performance rubric before pa magsugod ang lesson. So, ang assessment, dili lang after teaching. Part ni siya sa planning process. Next one is traditional assessment. So, traditional assessment refers sa usual nga written test like quizzes, multiple choice, identification, or true or false. So, sa PE, or sa pag-teach sa PE, ginagamit gyapon ni siya especially sa rules, safety, measures, o health concept. So, for example, after nag-discuss si teacher sa volleyball rules, pwede maghatag ang teacher og short quiz. So, ang traditional assessment mainly nag-measure sa knowledge o understanding sa learners. The third one is purposes of traditional assessment. So, dari unsa ba ang purpose sa traditional assessment? So, first is, nani siya apat. First is, para ma-evaluate ang performance sa learners. Second is, para makita ang strengths o weaknesses sa learners. The third one is para makahatag feedback ang teacher. And the last one is para ma-adjust sa teacher ang teaching strategies if needed. So, for example, kung daghan learners na low score sa topic about sa gidiscuss ni teacher, so possible na i-review pag-usap sa teacher. So, in a way na i-demonstrate niya or i-group activity. So, that's all for my part. Let's proceed sa next reporter.
Okay, so paki-next ko. So, strengths of traditional assessment. So, first one is the reliability. Diri this is an assessment tool considered reliable when it consistently measures what it is supposed to measure. This means that ang results are dependable and accurate. Ang reliability is very important because it ensures fairness in evaluating students' performance. Second is validity. This is a traditional assessment becomes valid when it answers two important questions like what should be measured or what is to be measured and how consistently is it measured. So, ang validity ensures that ang test daw is truly measures the learning objectives or skills nga intended gikan sa teacher. The third one is the easy to administer and check. Diri is muna siya ang paper and pencil test usually have specific answers for each item, making them easier for teachers to prepare, give, and score. This saves time and allows teachers to evaluate many students efficiently. Next is, next ko. Next is the limitations of the traditional assessment. First one is individualist. This is a traditional assessment mainly measures learning on an individual basis. Students are usually tested alone, focusing only on personal performance. Because of this, uh, excuse me. Because of this, kay magkaroon kayo ng teamwork, communication, and cooperation skills na wala pa nila na develop or na fully assessed. Second is the competition. Traditional assessment often encourages students to compete rather with one another through rankings, scores, and grades. However, 21st century education promotes collaboration and teamwork sa mga students. Ang modern education values students working together, mag-share ideas, and mag-helping each other para makatuon, which is traditional assessment na wala ka na fully support. Next ko. So, we have here the authentic assessment. This type of assessment is where students actively apply their knowledge, skills, and attitudes sa real-world situations or sa ilang environment. Its goal is to help learners better understand and deal with the realities around them. Instead of focusing only sa memorization, ang students are encouraged to demonstrate what they can actually do or unsa ilang makaya ug ilang magamit nila paano nila magamit ang ilahang mga natun-an in a practical situation. So, ang authentic assessment daw is based on constructivist perspective of learning. According kay Janish, Leo, and Acrofi 2007 rather, ang learning happens when the interaction of students and learning materials and content. So, this means that ang students learns more effectively when they are actively involved of meaningful tasks o mga experiences nga na-connect sa lessons into real life. Next ko. So, we have here the authentic assessment. Authentic assessment is all about testing students on real life skills rather than having them memorize facts or for a multiple choice test. Let's look at how a teacher would use the THI 2017 5 rules para maka-create og project for high school business class rather. So the first one is determining the skills and achievements that the pupils will develop. Diri is the teacher define the exact outcomes. They decide the students need to demonstrate kung unsa lang makaya. First is identify ilang target audience, mag-create sila budget, and lastly, mag-design sila mga promotional materials. You cannot build a fair assessment if you don't know exactly what skills you are trying to measure. Second is elaborating the task that the pupils will use to demonstrate their skills and achievements. Diri instead of written exam, asking what is a target audience, si teacher daw is mag-create siya notes that create siya mga authentic task nga ginaingon niya sa student that you must design a marketing campaign for a real local coffee shop to attract more high school students and pitch it to the class. So this forces the student to apply their knowledge to a realistic situation they might encounter in a future career. Third one is determining communicating scoring rubrics for identifying ah, for evaluation rather. Sorry, nalibat ko. Diri is the teacher creates a detailed rubric and give it to the students on the first day of the project. So the rubric must clearly state that 30% of the grade is based on the budget accuracy. Ang 40% is for the uh, creativity of the promo materials, and the 30% is for the presentation of the skills. So in the real world, employees know what is expected of them before they start a project. Students should have to guess what the teacher is looking for. No? For the fourth one is identifying proofs for supporting decisions. There is when the teacher gives a student on their project, they must back it up with evidence from students' actual work based on the rubric. So, it removes teacher bias. The grade is biased entirely on concrete evidence presented in the student's project, making the grading fair and transparent. And for the last one is improving educational instructional programs. There is after grading all the projects, the teacher notices that 80% of the class failed to calculate the budget ang budget correctly. So the teacher uses this information to realize their lesson on budgeting was ineffective. They rewrite their lesson plan and spend more time teaching Excel spreadsheets next semester. Okay, next ko. So, for the strength of authentic assessment, there are authentic assessment focuses on evaluating the student's ability to apply knowledge to real-world situation rather than recalling facts on a test. So, diri jud di mo ma-apply ang imong mga knowledge sa real-world situation, no? If unsay mga nahibalaan, i-apply jud nimo siya into real-world situation. For the next is authentic assessment capture the constructive nature of learning. Diri is this is how we view the student's role in the classroom. As the image knows, students are not passive receivers or mga empty vessels to be filled with information. So, in this model, the students are the creators and the developers of their own skills. Third one is authentic assessments integrate teaching, learning, and assessment. Diri this is how that ang teaching happens. Ang teaching is maghitabo gina siya una-una, and then ang learning is expected gina siya nga nato tayo matun-an, and then ang assessment is mahitabo na siya at the very end of the lesson. So authentic assessment merges into the single continuous cycle, which is the all-in-one model, no? Because of this authentic task, like mga projects, mga portfolios, mga performances, often take time, feedback, the assessment itself becomes a learning activity. Then, for the last strength of authentic assessment, it is integrate teaching, learning, and assessment. Muna na day na, no? Paki-next ko. Sorry, lutang lang. Excuse me, paki-next ko. Kana. So, for the last one is the authentic assessment provide multiple paths to demonstration. So, diri ang authentic assessment acknowledges that students have different strengths and ways of expressing what they know. Unlike sa mga standardized test, where everyone must answer the same way. Ang authentic assessment allows for variety. Then, so we have here the limitations of the authentic assessment. First is the subjectivity in scoring. Diri this is perhaps the biggest hurdle in non-traditional grading because these assessments rely on teachers' judgment. Evaluating a performance or project is very difficult to be 100% objective because a teacher might unconsciously be influenced by their previous interactions sa ilahang mga students. Next is the cost lines. This is authentic task takes significantly longer to design, perform, and grade than a multiple choice quiz. So, the 21st century, ang mga 21st century nga mga students are very highly competitive. So, the cost here can be increased stress and workload required para mamit nila ang complex learning outcomes, as these projects often require higher level thinking and more extensive preparation. Okay, next ko. So, next is the limits, skills, and knowledge. Diri this point is addresses the narrowness that can sometimes happen with project-based work because authentic assessment are usually very specific. Makabuild ka diri mga model of Filipino Nipa house, like that. So, student might focus only on the skills needed for that one task, no? And then, this can lead to gaps in general knowledge if not balanced with other instruction. And for the last limitations of authentic assessment is the time constraints. This is often cited by teachers as the most difficult hurdle to overcome. So, sa slide nga na-mention, ang pupils daw is need time to consolidate their concepts, no? So, this means that they need time to think, practice, and make mistakes and try again before sa final performance or silang project due. So, in standard school schedule, finding weeks of time for varying student to perform or present can be nearly impossible without falling behind on the rest of the curriculum. So, that's all. Thank you.